Hello, and thank you so very much for joining me tonight. I go by Loon and Nate, and what I'm creating today is an ASMR style session inspired by the present zodiac theme, which is Libra, the Libra season. In our card reading on Patreon, there were some really positive readings. Like, all of the readings were very, very positive and focused on generally here, but overcoming the outside stimulus, as in that which kind of takes our energy, a little like energy vampire, almost kind of how the world can be, right? To kind of disconnect, just cut that off for just a second, just to reconnect with yourself. Tune into yourself, what makes you happy, and move from there. So, the themes we're going to be working with today are a little bit of stillness, as much stillness as we can create, right? A little bit of tying in the story of the bumps and bruises, the scars and wrinkles, to find beauty in everything in the story. Well, to find beauty in the things that sometimes we might judge too quickly, because the story behind things is often, the way that we can kind of romanticize it, the way we can enjoy it, indulge in it a little more. For example, maybe you have an indie artist or an artist that you really like, and when you play it for someone, they're not as wowed, they're not as impressed, but then when you tell them their background or you show them the artist and you're like, oh wow, okay, so it's like you can kind of make the connection of which lens, like the lens that this is coming through, the lens that this art is channeling through, the story behind it, their journey, and it just gives so much of a richer context to really appreciate that art or music or whatever it might be that they create. Is anyone else like that? Like, they like the characters as well of the artists that they enjoy, and their stories and their uniqueness, and sometimes how the art that they create is almost unexpected in a sense, or not what we might expect from someone with that background. Am I saying that right? Someone with that story. So we're going to focus on those and highlighting the ability to romanticize things so we can find and connect with beauty and appreciation and value things more. I think that Libra season is a perfect time to value and appreciate things that often go overlooked. Some of you might really be drawn to watching like furniture refab or room redesign or vintage hauls or collecting, because you're sort of bringing life again to something that might be overlooked, or it's like, oh, that's not new anymore, right? And everywhere we see, everything is so sped up, and it's so new, and it's so cookie cutter, and it's so lacking character, right? So let's call out the appreciation of character and beauty and all that we see. And that might be wrinkles and smile lines and gray hairs. That might be quote unquote imperfections in like the home that you live in or the space that you're in general. But like, can we work with them? Can we beautify them? Can we appreciate them? Maybe something you come across as well. I'm sorry for the lengthy intro here, but it really does resonate a lot with me. I had, I do have the impulse to like buy things, right? Like, oh, I want to do this, I need to buy something for that. Oh, I want an outfit like this, I need to go buy it. When it's like, wait a minute, maybe I have something that will create that look. Maybe I can go to a thrift shop and find what I'm looking for, instead of that like impulse to like new, more, collect. let's really like savor a little nostalgia, a little appreciation for what we have, and also the things that we kind of come into, hand-me-downs, thrifted pieces, all of that. Okay, so I hope that you enjoy, and we'll get in. Thank you for hearing me out in the intro. Oh, and I'm so sorry if I forgot to say happy birthday, Libra. Love you so much. Alright, don't worry about that. That's just from lighting the candle. Goofy on my part. But here we have these two opportunities, these two gateways here, these two wicks to hold the field, to hold the pillars, to hold the balance in our work today. So just charging the wax, charging the wicks, charging the ingredients of the candle, and we're going to set our intention. Set that down for a sec. For the foil people, because I've been slacking on you. These super yummy French vanilla. Incense touches that I just buy on Etsy from various shops. So, on behalf of the highest and greatest good and perfect comfort, perfect alignment, perfect comfort, perfect harmony. Our intention is not only to find a little stillness right now for ourselves, because it's kind of the point of this channel, right? A little time for self, a little self-reflection, going back to you, redirecting your energy back to you, replenishing yourself, all of those themes, and also to connect more with the background, the story, the context, the way we can romanticize and find some kind of comfort through this, find some appreciation, find some, I don't want to say silver lining, but something that is obviously benevolent, like obviously beautiful, like obviously supportive to think about, empowering, alchemizing your thoughts, creating this balance, creating temperance in this way. Just finding a true, or connecting with a true appreciation for all of it and how beautiful a rich character is. How truly, truly beautiful. I remember when I was in high school, I had a few art classes because I was a bad kid in school. Like cutting class a lot, as in bad. So they gave me like a bunch of art classes. And one of the times we had to do these sort of like portraits from a magazine. So I did this like picture of Bjork that I found in Paper magazine. And I remember drawing her like brow and the lines on her face. And this is a while ago, so it's not like she was all that old. She's probably my age. My age now. And I remember thinking like, I wish I had those lines. Oh, I wish I had, I love this. I love this. It was so easy to love it on this character, right? Because she's has such rich character and artistic expression and everything. So it's funny how now that I'm 40, I'm like, oh, I don't want that. But there's a story to it all, right? So I hope you can understand what I'm trying to say here. Appreciating character of what we have, of things that have been already loved. And this travels into our relationships as well. You know, not to be jealous, not to be comparative of, oh, your ex did this and I'm like this, or my ex was like this, blah, 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 whatever. To find appreciation and a newness in everything, that we all have baggage, we all have history. And can we appreciate that in one another? I certainly wouldn't want to be with anyone who couldn't appreciate those things. All the things that make you you. And make you love them now. Or whatever, you know? If you have your own intention, you would like to set, just have a look. Send it in to the flames, the fire, the doorway here, the portal. Walk through it with a revived appreciation and objective view to see this all, to see the details, to notice things about people, notice things about yourself, and these super interesting characters that we all are. Right, let me just set this down. So, I live in Florida now, as many of you know, and I'm not really a big, collector of shells or anything. Like, I don't really take things from the beach. I mostly just pick up trash. Once in a while, though, I'll feel really called, to take something. And this is a shell that I picked up once. It's so cool. I've never seen a shell like this on the beach. You can see it almost looks like a chalcedony rose or something. And the inside is like this super black and white kind of markings. And it was just like, take me. And again, I just don't see stuff like this. If anybody knows what kind of shell this is, please let me know. But I love to use it as a little offering dish. So we're going to use this here. And how much character does this little shell have? Have you ever seen something like this on the beach? I have not. I have these copal incense sticks, but one of them is a little damaged, but it's perfect for what I want to use it for now. If I can get it out. So I'm just going to break off the piece here. A little bit. Using the shears I mentioned. Ooh. Easy, easy girl. Giving it a little more character here, obviously. So we have a cute little, we're going to put it in our adorable little shell. I almost dropped it. There we go. How cute. How freaking cute. this as an offering to you. And also, I kind of refound these. I thought I lost them, so I'm really interested in these right now. They are from Vala's Enchanted Perfumery. They are an offering, and it's a traditional Egyptian incense, these little nugs. I even cut it in half just to make it a little smaller. And I'm going to use my shears that have a lot of character. I think these came from Austria, if I'm remembering right. They're like herb shears. We're gonna just use these like little tweezers or tongs. This is an offering to you and to your character. Burning bright, burning strong, rich, dream balm to connect with the dreamy. I'm saying romanticize. I don't mean that in like a toxic way. I know that it can be like a kind of a toxic thing at times too. But there's nothing wrong with falling in love with your life or your character or the concept of character or histories, intricacies of relationships, of growth of the mind, of communication, of how you love, of how you connect, of how you present yourself, of the space and how you manage the space you're in. We're just going to really channel through connecting with that, connecting with your ability to really love and appreciate, and to witness, to really heighten. We have this generalized perspective very often because it's easy. It's easy to lump things in. It's easy to be like, that's pink, or whatever, that's pink, that's blue. But really, it's kind of more like a dusty, I don't know, I'm gonna color correct it a little bit, but it's kind of more of a dusty lilac, you know? This is kind of more of a vibrant lavender, a pastel lavender. This is more of an aqua, right? It's not just blue. There's more depth than we're able to. Not that we're able to, but then we generally sometimes acknowledge. And it's so the same with people. This is all kind of related to cancel culture and stuff. Hating what we don't understand, hating on what we don't understand, judging, lumping someone into a bad person category for a mistake in their past or something they've said ages ago. Just as ideas here for us to think about sometimes things are miscommunicated, misinterpreted, right? We're all interpreting from our own perspective. And how fun it is to try to see through someone else's eyes. I know we can't, but to try to see, to read their body language, to see how they carry themselves, to hear someone talk to you about experiences they've had. And all for yourself too, to witness yourself and how cute you can be, how funny, how silly, how charming, how compassionate, how lovable, how stylish. Just go to down, brown to the eyes. Just clearing your channel within. There's another. This one's called a gentle giant. We want to move through the channel within you, the membrane, that center cortex, that center line, your line between masculine and feminine, yin and yang, in and out, shadow and light. That line between thought and action and intuition and rest. And just purifying, just sweeping really, clearing that channel within you. Because we need this to be clear, untainted, untampered with, to really achieve that balance, really connect with that balance. And I'm going to continue this gorgeous pink Lumerian quartz. It's so pretty. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just clearing through that channel. So I'm going to touch your crown, over your crown. And calling through, sweeping through, channeling through the center within you, all the way down, from way above your head, through, down way below your feet. I'm going to just, make it a little closer to focus on that line. And create that balance, that peace. We're just anchoring in little steps along the way to support you being able to navigate this even more effectively than you already are. This clearing, this harmony, and kind of stepping into that harmony. Just like if we're having an emotional experience and we're angry, we can kind of step down to frustrated, or we can maybe step up is a better way to say it. Step up to just frustrated, step up a little maybe to annoyed, step up to like a little apathetic, like I don't care, step up to neutrality, right? So we're kind of moving through, and we want to support you in being able to do that. So we're gonna anchor these steps. Little touchstones. Okay. Okay. We're gonna use this stunning little angel wing quartz or red phantom quartz. Like, look at the wing. Okay, Mark. It's so pretty. Like, what the heck? It's so beautiful. So pretty. And we're gonna place this starting above your head, but then anchoring below your feet to call in. This is gonna be a little tricky for me to communicate here, but your angels. And when I say that, though, specifically, I'm not talking about external angels as in, you know, like earth angels or Archangel Michael or Archangel Uriel. That's fine, and if you work with those, perfectly fine if you want to include that in your intention. But what I mean when I say your angels in the internal sense is my belief, and I would never mean to encroach on you in any way, but just sharing, my belief is that everything we might feel connected to, Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, oh my gosh, Jesus, Mary Magdalene, different deities, different goddesses, things like that, right? Like things that kind of are humanish in a sense, or depicted as almost human-like, and probably beyond that too, but I'll just keep my conversation as short as possible here. I feel like all of that is something that is within you already. Like Archangel Michael calling for protection, you can call from within you for that protection. You can call from within you for that. This helps. So it's almost like, yeah, you can set intentions to work with these angels or whatever, which I do, and I think that's beautiful. But I like to do it another way too. Play both ends here a little bit, to call and see myself as the universe, to see my body, the space between my cells, the stars as galaxies, as spaces where the little bacteria colonies are like life forms, or whatever the frick, you know, like whatever the frick I said. I wasn't cursing, I promise. I'm trying not to. So what I'm saying here is to call on the angels of yourself, like call on the facets of the self, the abilities of the self within your own perfectly balanced, perfectly beautiful world, your universe, you as the world and beyond, to call these forces from within you to support you in witnessing more richly, perhaps, or more intricately, the workings of people, the workings of things, the stories behind how that got a little chip in it, or how that the edge of the paper got a little burned, or where this beautiful song truly comes from, you know, to like really connect with this richness of art and beauty, and even what we might call imperfections or mishaps or missteps or mistakes, to see it all in this perfectly balanced dance of meaning, you know. I hope I'm saying this okay. So starting from over your head, your subtle self calling through, calling in these angels of you, these messengers. That's maybe a better way to say it. These messengers, these lines of communication, these lines of witnessing, of understanding the nuances and all of this stuff. Calling it through to ground it into your everyday. Every day to see, every day to notice, every day to appreciate such character and richness and depth. Grounding, placing this between your feet. And now it's kind of pointing up, right? Like sitting, standing, as it typically would be. And we're going to call this in. Ground this in to your experience. Bringing this appreciation that I know you have of quality, of character, of authenticity, of truth. Calling it in. Calling it in and grounding. And grounding. Grounding. Grounding it into your actions, if it is aligned to you, of course, only, but to allow your actions to support this character, this richness, this appreciation that you may have. For depth, for a little quirkiness, for the complexities of human nature, to maybe change your impulses, your habits. For example, for me, to not go to online and just search for something right away. Maybe check out my local thrifts. Maybe look around the house. Maybe I have something like that. I often do. Going through, grounding in to your beautiful actions, your beautiful habits, impulses. Balance. Your style. Also gonna call in and anchor in support. So just like this looks like an ocean wave or a wave in motion, and the bedrock, the matrix below, this opal is supported in this matrix. It's so interesting. Opals are so interesting. They're like morphing slightly all the time. And we're gonna move through to call in your support. That balance. And these are now the external earth angels, we might say, or the people in your life you can count on. The acts of service, the acts of support, the active listening, the guidance, the validation, the suggestion to enrich your perspective, to enrich your feelings of feeling supported, cared for, loved, balance within and balance without, in your circle, in your social circle. One of the readings was about kind of putting it out there and seeing what support shows up to co-create with you, to make connections happen. So we want to call through that support. Like waves. You are the wave. The earth below you supports you so you can rise, so you can splash, so you can rise and fall. Like the tides, but below you always is that seabed, is that coral, is that whale. I don't know. Those rocks. Supporting you emotionally and calling that in. if you're hearing this and you're like, yeah, but I don't have that, I want to validate with you, of course, and honor how you're feeling. But I also want to encourage you not to shut it off right away, because you'll be surprised. Don't say, oh, no, not for me. I don't have that. Give yourself a chance. Believe in it. Take this beautiful topaz. Just cleanse through your auric field. Clearing so that they can really go both ways. Sometimes the aura takes on a quality of rejection, like rejecting support or rejecting seeing the big picture, seeing the whole thing, seeing someone else's side. It might be an ego thing, it might be a self-protection thing. Who's to say? But we want to go around the auric field here so that there's a breath, there's a in and out. Of course, we don't have to let in anything negative, or rather anything malicious. It's not like we're opening the door to malice, but new ideas or bigger pictures, full pictures, understanding, not blocking things that could help you, that could make your life better, more rich, more depth. So I'm just taking the very edge of your aura, the outer membrane, and just cleansing it with this beautiful Venusian topaz. Welcoming the in for money, for witnessing beauty, for expressing your beauty, your character. Do not reject, help, support, depth. Okay, we're gonna go a little deeper here. Just trying to see and sense. It's almost like a dragon guarding its treasure, but also weak. That's just the image I got. I mean, I'm not trying to say you're a dragon or that you're weak. Pardon me, I'm just gonna hold your face. So we're going to use our violet light here, our UV light, and we're going to work on channeling through to the hemispheres of the mind. Okay? So you can picture this as your head, if you are okay with that. And I'm first going to place over the ground, channeling through. This light pouring in from the top of your head and moving all down through your body. Okay. In fact, if you don't mind, I'm just going to make it a little darker. So you really want to see the glow of this skull. Alright. Focusing behind the head, like beaming out of your eyes. Even if your eyes are closed, channeling through with the intentions to support unlocking, untethering, untying, loosening any tight bands, any tight channels or pathways that don't allow for the richness of character or appreciation of context or story, background, development to be perceived. We are loosening here. Working with the right hemisphere. Harmonizing, balancing. And the left. Also harmonizing, balance, temperance, and again to the back, the base of the skull, channeling through that center cortex. That center cortex is not the right word, I'm sorry. That center part, that center line, massaging to bring left and right together, to bring shadow and light together, to blend, to create more depth that is not all black and white or good and bad or broken and intact. There are many gray areas, there are many nuances, there are many things, qualities, circumstance, context between. We're blending. We're going to go from below the very, very, very base, almost where the spine comes through. Channeling through, up into the head, and down through the spine. That place, that channel within you that we have anchored in those steps for you to easily make things more simple when it calls for that, when things call for that, but to also make things incredibly rich, incredibly detailed. Real attention to all of these intricacies, all of these levels. Just channeling through again, up into the skull and beyond and down through the spine, moving through the veins, the limbs, the bones. Off for a sec and bring the light here back for you. Just a bit while we hold the head. Maybe this is a better way. Hold the head, hold your head. Channel where the ears or the temples may be. Just supporting this change, this shift for you, to make it as easy as possible, not overwhelming, really beautiful, really fun and enriching perspective and abilities. Okay, thank you for that. We'll cut ties with the skull. This bag of dried roses. I'm going to take one of the dried rosebuds. Actually, before I do that, let me just give it a little sound bath here. Such perfect correspondence for our theme. Dried rose. Is it as beautiful as it was before? Who's to say? What's the story here? Going to channel through, rose in hand, to your face, but really to all of you, because we kind of are our face, right? You know, like there's something really connected to us about our face and stuff, in my humble opinion. So we're going to channel through to really send that self-love and appreciation. Yes, we've been focusing on witnessing the character around us, but what about that character of you and your journey and your story? So we're really just going to take some little quiet time. Quiet as in I'll be quiet. Channel through. gateways. Alright, how about a little spray? Little frankincense. Okay. Alright. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed our session for this season. Thank you so very much for allowing me to share a little piece of your path today. And of course, for being such a big part of my path. Thank you, thank you, thank you. From the very bottom of my heart, I bow to the divine, rich character of you and I, and this beautiful, complex, and parallel, and interesting dynamic and connection that we share. So very much love to you. And of course, I wish you nothing but the very best and sending you so, so, so much love.